Hello, YouTube! I am Penstar, and this is Industries of Titan's Strategy and Tactics Quick Tip. Yeah, I said I was going to wait for this game to cook a little bit longer before I revisited it, and I am going to wait to revisit it in more greater detail, but darn it, it's addictive, even if in this early state. So guess what? I've been playing, replaying, and restarting constantly to give you a strong opener, because any strategy game is always made better by having a real strong opener, and I found a good initial build. Now what we're going to cover here today is sort of your opening moves and also how we fill out your first floor here on your headquarters. Okay, so getting started here, we are on a basically bare bones basic settings here. Normal start, normal resources, normal faction, normal everything. So we do start with 5 minerals. The thing that you should be doing with your 5 minerals is getting a storage container medium and building it right there. I'm going to be showing you a very specific build to how to flesh out this entire floor, but step 1 is a medium storage container. Put it right there. Meanwhile, you're going to want to take every ruins within your borders in your starter here. We lucked out and got a fair number of them. But I've never seen any less than 4. And what you can do is just want to survey them. Now, a shortcut, hit the V key, will let you very rapidly mark your buildings for surveying here. And it only takes a few seconds to survey them, so let's get started. Once they've built your storage container medium here, there's a little organizational trick that I'd like to share with you here. So for our storage container medium here, we're going to set the filter and we're going to say no isotopes and no waste. We only want minerals in this. Likewise, for this little starter container, we're going to set the filter. We're going to say no minerals and no waste, only isotopes. This ensures that there is enough storage. If you ever run into a case where you have like way too many minerals and you just need some isotopes, but if there's no place to store the isotopes because you've got these giant honking containers that are chock full of both, and there's no room to put more isotopes, this will ensure that you always have at least some room. And since isotopes come in much fewer numbers than the minerals, it gets the smaller container. Once you've got a second mineral in place, waste receptacle right there. One thing you may want to do if you didn't have the greatest of rolls is to survey this stuff around your ruins. Did you know that you don't have to claim the tiles to mark them to be surveyed? And sometimes that's just exactly what you need. I generally would recommend sticking to the level 1s for the moment because you can get a lot of bang for your buck out of level 1 ruins rather than sinking the 20. But if there's a couple of nearby level 2s, not necessarily a bad thing to go for them. Because you do start out with 20 influence, which we're going to keep banked at the moment until we see something juicy enough to grab. Once we got a few more minerals to our name here, we're going to start the next phase of our first floor build, and that's going to be a small fuel fabricator. We want it orientated right here. We want it. We want the sort of the little nub of it touching the top corner of our storage bin like that. We also want a small fuel tank right here next to it, like that. Because we want both the fabricator and the fuel tank. Because right now, once the fabricator comes online, there's nowhere for the fuel to go. Nothing's burning it yet. We'll get to that. But we might as well stockpile it to keep it in reserve while we're building this first, and also while we're gathering in more resources here. Waste not and whatnot and what have you. Beautiful. So that's going to start pumping fuel, and then that's going to start fueling this up. Excellent. All right. Oh, now look at this. A level 1 with 3 red artifacts. This one is absolutely worth taking the artifacts for. I wish I had taken the resources on those other 2, but yeah, we're going to claim that, take the artifacts. We can use the 2 that we have. So 16 influence for just that. Not worth it. Sometimes it's useful to grab 0 population ships. See, this one's worth it. For only 6 influence, I'll take that. Now that we're building up a bit more, now it is time to actually get our energy production going. So we're going to put a small battery here. We're also going to get an industrial outlet, stick it over here. The order of operations here, the order that you actually build these things in, is fairly important. We're also going to get a small energy relay. We're going to stick it right next to the industrial outlet over here. Lastly, we're going to get ourselves a medium energy generator and snug it up right against this corner here. This is why we wanted to build the battery first, because this then gets encapsulated by the generator, but the battery don't care. As long as it's got that energy array covering it, the battery will be useful here. And now this fuel fabricator puts out 2 fuel. This thing uses 2 fuel. So now we are perfectly fueling our medium generator here, which is putting out 6 power. Get your first 6 isotopes in storage here. Upgrade your headquarters. We don't necessarily need the extra space right this second, nor do we need the extra perks that come with it, the extra production, the extra sensor range and command range. But trust me, you'll be happy that we did in the long run. And this I mean, I'd be lying if we said we don't have use for isotopes in the beginning, but this is the best use for your first 6. Our dedicated mineral storage here, you can hold 32 minerals. So once you get closer to that, you might as well start spending. So let us begin actually doing something with this power besides charging our battery, which looks like it is fully charged at this juncture. So now we're going to get our peoples in. So we're going to get not 1, but 2 habitat pods right here side by side. The only difference here is that this one is going to get rotated inwards. More on that in a moment. We are also going to be getting monetization stations. Yes, I do know that there's conversion capsules and we can use that to get more workers. We will be doing that shortly, but not on the first floor. Right now I care about getting money. So we're going to be getting plenty of citizens and monetizing them. We're going to do a monetization this way, facing inwards here. We're also going to be getting one facing outwards here. And I think you can figure out where our last monetization station is going to go. And yes, that's this gives us the capacity to hold 4 people and monetize 3 of them. The other thing we're going to want here, another waste receptacle right back here in the corner. Whenever you have either habitat pods or conversion capsules, you always need to leave a couple of tiles of empty, unbuilt space for it to dump their garbage onto, which your workers can then fix up and clean up. All right, now that we actually have habitation pods, we need to scan our. We need to keep a close eye on our stuff here to make sure that we need to basically wait for a spacecraft that has 4 or fewer passengers on it so that we can invite them in and start monetizing them, because we need some citizens at this point. The whole point of this early build is to be able to get your monetization and credits income going nice and early. Ah, dang. That would have been a beautiful one to take in, but sadly not. This one is. Let's just see. You're 3, you're 1. Well, I'll take you. Not enough spaceport storage. I say bull to that. Let's just expand the storage and take you. There, we have our 4. Well worth the influence. So that, my friends, is my suggestions for your very first floor and your opening gambit. We've got ourselves 3 credits per tick, I guess, and a perfectly used and efficient first floor with plenty of storage for our minerals, our isotopes, and 2 whole things for waste receptacles. We'll be dealing with waste later on. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!